כנראה ברמקול שלך.
משהו ברמקול כנראה לא טוב. אוקיי, אז נעבור לחלק הבא. תודה רבה מריסה ויאיר. לכל מי שיש עוד שאלות הוא מוזמן להפנות.
ואתי גם.
ואתי, כמובן. תודה רבה. אתם מוזמנים לכתוב לנו במייל אם יש לכם שאלות נוספות לגבי ההחלטה של מל"ג. And now we will move on to the next part, which will be an explanation about the new program and the best preparation for it. Good morning, Dagmar. Are you with us?
Yes, hello. Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay, fine, perfect. So good morning. My name is Dagmar Hopcke. I work for the unit in the executive agency responsible for the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Degrees Action. I'm very pleased, that I can present today to you the new features of the new Erasmus Mundus Action. Thank you very much, Nama, for having invited me, for giving this opportunity, because I'm sure you know that that there are quite some new features which will interest you and which hold quite a good potential for partner country universities. So I will, Nama, can I just launch my presentation, or how does it work? Do you have to give me access, or?
Yes, I will give you an access right away.
Okay.
You can do it now. You have the green button.
Yes, okay. Share. I will try to have it as a full screen normally. It should be fine now. Okay, can you see the screen now, or is it fine?
Yes, there are a little black spots in the side, but we can see it. We can see most of it.
But how comes strange? For me, it looks completely normal. I mean, as long as you can see, then I would propose just to start, huh?
Yes.
So as you can see here, we put a disclaimer on this document, and it's because it's not yet a finalized program guide. We are still in the process of making last changes, and then it needs to be still adopted. So just for you to know, unfortunately, we don't expect the call to come out before early spring. That's why we anticipate, in fact, a very, very short application period. And that's why also DG EACAE gave us green light, in fact, to start promoting the new features, so that organizations can slowly still, start preparing for the new project generation. Because normally the idea is, as usual, to start the projects with the new academic year in September. So just for you to know that this is a draft, that some things might change, that when you further distribute this information, that you make sure that people understand that it might still be subject to change, and it does not commit at this stage, the European Commission yet. But we would not expect big changes, let's say, to the overall mechanisms and new features. So here, on this slide, you can see that there are quite a lot of mores here that I will explain, during the presentation. This is, in fact, what you can see here is, in fact, the major change. So we will come back really again to an Erasmus Mundus Action that will have two lots. One lot that is the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters. That is the continuation of the EMGMDs, and we call them now EMJMs. And then we will have a new lot, which is in fact the Erasmus Mundus design measures. So these are small programs or projects, let's say, that allow interested higher education institutions which do not feel ready yet to apply for an EMGM to design, to develop, in fact, a joint master program. And then I will explain a little bit both actions. I will now start to focus on the Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters in the first place. So as you can see, there is like a little bit of a, strategic change in here. Before, the focus was more on the learning opportunities, for individuals. Now the focus is on international cooperation, in fact, and institutional cooperation. That's why in the new program guide, you will see that Erasmus Mundus, the Erasmus Mundus Action, will now be under Key Action 2 and not under Key Action 1 anymore. When we look a little bit at Key Action 2, we have these different cooperation models. Erasmus Mundus Action will be under, as previously, it is a program of excellence. So it will be under, it will be in the group of partnerships for excellence together with European universities and also the VET centers of excellence. So we will see as well in the future how we can maybe develop more synergies or cooperation between these programs. Here, just a little overview of the new strategic priorities. I already told you that there is more institutional cooperation. Institutional cooperation, of course, for partner countries and program countries, country universities, then more internationalization opportunities. It goes a little bit hand in hand. Then in the program, you will see that there is simplification and more flexibility for the higher education institutions in the management and the setup and the funding mechanisms. Then there is an increased impact as well, because we give incentives now to enroll more non-scholarship holders. So we expect that more students will profit in the future. Also with this new design measure schemes, we hope to have more new joint master courses in our catalog, new disciplines. Then it will be more attractive also because it has more generous funding schemes for higher education institutions, but also for students. There will be more sustainability as well because of these incentives to have more non-scholarship holders, and more inclusiveness. So for the first time now, we will have a particular support for students with individual needs. And I will explain all this a bit later. EMJM in brief, so you are acquainted with the program. It's a high-level integrated and transnational study program at master level. So it's a program of excellence at all levels. So it concerns the higher education institutions involved, the program itself, the setup of the program, and also the students that take part. So it's delivered by an international consortium of higher education institutions from different countries. And it's, as I already said, it offers high-level scholarships to excellent students worldwide. As in the past, the international cooperation is between program and partner countries and within as well, of course, but we still distinguish these two groups. So program countries When we talk about program countries, we refer to EU member states, but also to some non-EU program countries like Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, Republic of North Macedonia, Serbia, and Turkey. And the partner countries are all the other countries throughout the world. So here's some just new little terminology changes. In fact, as I said, EMJMD becomes now EMJM, so Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters. Now we have again this an Erasmus Mundus Action with 2 lots. I don't explain that further. Then we have enrolled students. So it's the concept now that the program covers both now the scholarship holders and non-scholarship holders. And in the program guide, we will always refer to them as enrolled students. Then in the past, you remember we always talked about student intakes. Now we will talk about editions. And then there is a new financial instrument for external action, which is called NDC. So it's for neighborhood development and international cooperation. And then, you know, for the budget, we always referred in the past to heading 1 budget when we referred to the Erasmus Plus program budget, and to heading 4 budget for an external action. And now, you know, it will be called heading 2 and heading 6. So the main requirements I will just list a little bit because this is important, and you can see as well that that it is a complex program, because what we expect is really jointly designed and fully integrated curriculum and common implementation. So which means, in fact, for example, beyond these standards, you know, for quality assurance of joint programs, we also expect, in fact, you know, that there are integrated teaching and training activities. There is a jointly agreed language policy. There is a joint process for recognition of study periods within the consortium. There are joint rules and procedures for examination and performance evaluation. A joint procedure for selection, for the promotion and awareness raising, for common services, and a joint administration and financial management. So we really expect to see a highly integrated master course at proposal stage. So the EMJM is delivered by a consortium of at least 3 higher education institutions from 3 different countries. So this is like in the past. However, in the past, we require that these 3 countries had to be program countries. Now only 2 must be program countries and 1 can be a partner country, which is a novelty, and which is an encouragement for partner country universities to take a greater role in the program. Then, of course, the consortium has to demonstrate international outreach to attract and enroll excellent students worldwide. And as I said, part of them can have a scholarship, others, they will be non-scholarship holders. Then it includes as well a compulsory physical mobility for all enrolled students. So we talk here about 2 study periods in 2 countries. So they should last each a minimum of 1 academic semester. And they have to be different from the country of residence of students. So each student enrolled has to have these 2 mobility periods in a different country. Then we also expect contribution of scholars and guest lecturers for teaching, training, and also research activities, and a delivery of a joint degree or a multiple degree at the end. So joint degrees we highly recommend now, but we know that national legislation not always allows for it. So what I said, and this is important, at application stage, in fact, the proposal must present already the fully developed joint programs. So they have to be ready to run and to be advertised directly after the selection process, which means in this case in autumn directly this year. So it is, and I mean later, I think the coordinators which you invited from the different master courses will tell you that this demands quite a lot of preparatory work, and it's maybe not easy to jump directly into the program. That's why I will present, I will put more focus maybe as well on the design measures action. So just as a little wrap up, so for the EMJM action, there is the keyword is continuity. There are not big changes to this setup or to what we expect, from the let's say joint mechanisms of the program, and from the setup of the curriculum. So we put emphasis on all enrolled students, and as you could see, there are more opportunities for partner country HEIs, and we have simplified rules as well for scholars. So there are no official requirements anymore, like the number of scholars to be enrolled for each intake, or scholar weeks, requirements, which gives more flexibility, in fact, to consortia. Then now when it comes to the setup, so we will give a fixed grant agreement of six academic years. So it's independently from the length of the master. Consortia have to commit to enroll a certain number of students per project. There must be at least 4 master editions lasting 1 to 2 academic years. The start of the first edition should not be later than the academic year following the year of project selection. And as I already said, at least 2 study periods in 2 countries. And we aim as well for a geographical balance of students, which is a bit differently defined though than in the last program. So here, in fact, what we expect is not to have more than 10% of the total scholarship per project awarded to students of the same nationality. As you might remember, in the former program, we didn't, there was a maximum, in fact, of 3 students of the same nationality per intake. So there is a little change also here. And here you can a bit see how it looks like, in fact, in terms of the editions. So depending, in fact, of the master, the length of the master course, you can have up to 6 editions. When you start immediately the first edition after the selection, then, I mean, even though we don't have any more a preparatory year, because this concept does not exist anymore, we still give this possibility for a year for preparatory activities, in fact, for consortia to to prepare the last let's say the last needed steps before the students, in fact, are enrolled or start their first academic year. So depending on whether the project starts immediately or not, you can have for a 60 ECTS, you can have from 5 to 6 editions, and for a 2-year master course of 120 ECTS, you can have 4 or 5 editions. So this is already what I said, so we don't need to look at this anymore. So now, taking part as an organization, as previously, the course is open to any public and private organization and program and partner countries. And this is a novelty. Applications can be submitted by any eligible program or partner country HEI, which means that a partner country HEI can become a coordinator. Program country HEIs, they need a valid Erasmus charter for higher education. Partner country HEIs, since they don't have this, they should at least commit to these ECHE principles in the partnership agreement. That is also a formal requirement before the students' first intake starts. In fact, you will have to to have this partnership agreement ready and a draft already at application stage. And also a very important requirement is, of course, the completed accreditation and evaluation of the master program. That can be, you know, the accreditation for the joint master program, but also the accreditation at, you know, of the different components, national components on which the joint master program is built. So the minimum consortium, as I already said, is 3 higher education institutions from 3 different countries, of which 2 must be at least program countries. And optional, you can of course have other full academic or non-academic partners and associated partners. Just for you, a little overview. I had a look a little bit, you know, about the involvement of Israel in EMJMD projects. And as you can see, in fact, we have 11 in total between, you know, 2014 and 2020. So in 2020, in fact, we had another 4 projects where we could see participation of associated partners from Israel. So in fact, we would have during the whole last MFF 16 projects, EMGMDs, which involved partners from Israel, 2 full partners, and 20, in fact, associated partners when you also add the ones from 2020. In fact, the full partner, we only have 1 project, in fact, that has a full partner, and that is the project, the European Master in Law and Economics, EMLE, where we have University of Haifa as a full partner, which is really an academic, has become a very strong academic pillar in that program, and is now also a first term partner, which means that around 1/3, in fact, of students under this master will start now their first year, academic year, in Israel and not anymore in a program country. So I think this is a very good example, a very successful cooperation that lasts already for years. But this is really the only full partner that we have in the masters, and we really hope that that with the new program, this this might change. So so for the individuals, as you know, I mean, the programs are open to students worldwide. The requirement is to have, of course, a first higher education degree and not have benefited previously from an EMJM scholarship. So for the first generation, it will not be an issue because they will be the first ones. But then in later years, it's something that that we will have to pay attention to. And then only, of course, the best one that you select will be able to benefit from a scholarship. Yeah, students apply directly to the consortia, and we still have the catalog with all the ongoing EMJMDs and now then EMJMs. We have at the time being around 150 different EMJMDs in all kinds of different disciplines, and also I had a little bit a look, you know, on the situation for Israeli students, and unfortunately I see that that very few students profited, in fact, from these programs. That's why I would really use also this opportunity to encourage you to make more publicity for these programs. As you can see, this year none was selected, and only 27 in total, you know, under the last MFF. So I think there is maybe possibility to advertise more these opportunities. Unfortunately, for the next academic year, most of the master courses have already closed their selection. But maybe some of them are still open for a month. But it, of course, the time now to apply is very limited. But just for you to keep in mind, yeah, to advertise these programs and these very good scholarship opportunities. So now we come to the funding rules, and here basically everything is new. So here you see a little bit, we will have only one simplified EU grant. So the beneficiaries of course are the higher education institution students as usual. But now the big changes when it comes here to the three components. In fact, these are three unit costs. So the whole budget is based on three unit costs: institutional cost, individual needs cost, and scholarships. And here you can see, in fact, so the previous costs. So here's a comparison between the former program EMJMD and EMJM, and you see how much it is simplified. You have only three components here. Okay, you have the special needs as well, but yeah, here the three components. And so all this here, what was before, you know, distinguished in different costs, like the installation cost, the travel cost, and subsistence costs for students, are now in one unit cost per month, 1,400 unit per month. But this is only, of course, for the scholarship holders. And what was previously, in fact, the participation cost and the management lump sum now becomes the institutional cost. And this is 750 euros per month for scholarship holders and non-scholarship holders. And that makes the whole attractivity of this new financial scheme. And then for the special needs, in fact, students who apply for it are entitled or can ask for 3,000 to 60,000 maximum of additional support.
Damgar, I think
so now
we will open it up for questions now.
Yes,
because
please.
we are a bit tight with the time. So of course, everything will be available for you, the whole presentation after the workshop. And now, whoever want to ask questions, Damgar, please do.
I think the slide about the costs is very important. So if you can just speak about it, so we will understand it. No, not this one. The next one with the
this here.
Yeah, with the institutional
I will explain
costs.
now. I will explain all the different costs now so that you understand how it is calculated. It is quite easy, in fact. So the unit cost, here we talk about the institutional part. What I said is this replaces the former participation cost and management lump sum. In fact, the calculation is per enrolled student. The budget is 750 euros per month. And how to calculate? It's 750 euros per number of months. So when you have a master of 24 months, you calculate times 24, and you calculate times enrolled students. And the cap of enrolled students is at 100. So a maximum of 100 can be. So the maximum amount for a project as institutional cost is 1,800,000 euro. So the same unit cost, what I said, and this is very important, applies for scholarship holders and non-scholarship holders, and also for program and partner country students. So we don't make any distinction. So here you can see how interesting it is, in fact, to commit for a certain number of non-scholarship holders, because the cap, for scholarships for students with scholarships is 60. So you have the possibility to enroll another 40 non-scholarship holders. And you see that already, when you have 60 scholarship holders and 10 non-scholarship holders, you have a financial let's say financially the situation is more interesting for you, and this increases with the number of non-scholarship holders you enroll on top. So this is just to illustrate a little bit the comparison, how it was before and how it will be now. So for the student scholarship, also very easy. The students now will only receive a single unit cost, and it is 1,400 euros per month. So a minimum is 1 academic year, and maximum is 24 months. So the maximum amount for a 2 years master is 33,600 euros for a student, and at project level, how do you calculate this? It's the same. You calculate 1,400 times the number of months and times the number of students. And there the cap, as I said, is 60 students, student scholarships. And this is a total amount. The maximum amount for a project is 2,016,000 euros. And here as well, and this is new, the same unit cost applies for program and partner country students. We don't make any distinction. And just to show you, it is also interesting. It is interesting, in fact, for all students, and especially for program country students. They used to receive this amount in the past, and now they all receive 33,600. So it's more generous. And also when you compare it with a partner country student that received the maximum allowance as well for travel and installation costs, it is still more interesting and still more appealing. So then we have the individual needs. What I said, it's a completely new additional cost to allow for more inclusiveness in the program. So inclusion in the program. So you have in fact 10 different unit costs. They vary between 3,000 and 60,000 euros. And a student at application stage has already to apply for certain items or services that he would need to be able to participate to the program and to give you more or less the price. It is only a contribution because, for example, if a student, so there are different categories, and let's say there is one rate of 4,500 and the student needs items for 5,000, then we will always apply the lower let's say rate, in the list. So to make sure that it's a contribution, that it's not a full intervention, but still it is, I think, a very generous support that will that might allow some students who were hesitating to apply, really to apply now for the program. So if the needs are below 3,000 euros, then the consortium will need to cover this through the institutional costs. And at project level, when you apply, I mean, when for the budget, you have the possibility to apply for 1 or 2 unit costs. And so 1 unit cost is 60,000 euros, and you can apply for 120,000 euro maximum. And this intervention or this additional financial support is valid for all enrolled students, so scholarship holders and non-scholarship holders.
Okay, we have another question.
Yes.
From the chat. Can you speak about, from Dan Porat, can you speak about the EMDM for design of a program?
This comes now directly afterwards.
Okay.
I just started. I wanted to start with one program and then I will directly jump to the other. So we are almost done here. So we have again, these additional funds for partner country students. As I already explained, there is this new financial instrument, NDC, but also EPA 3. So it's Western Balkans, basically. And there are additional scholarships. So 20 for maximum, 6 for EPA, and 18 for NDC for the entire duration of the EMJM program. So for a project now, if you apply, or if a university or a consortium applies, for the full 24 scholarships, then the maximum amount will be 1,238,400 euros per grant. So now, just to say, we are not now for the call for proposals. We cannot say now with certainty when it will come out, but it will be sometime in spring. So we cannot really talk about the deadline then as well, but it might be shorter. For the budget, we can say that we have 98 million euros for the EMJM Action, plus 24 million for heading 6 for the additional scholarships. And in total, we can fund around 25 projects this year. So we have maximum 60 scholarships per EMJM project, plus 24 scholarships for the additional funding, external action funding. So how to apply? All this is not yet really prepared. That's why I cannot, unfortunately, give you more information, but we will update these slides in the coming weeks. We are working on the new forms. We will move to the e-grant procedure now. All the calls will be announced in the European Commission's Funding and Tender Opportunities portal. Just for you to know, the agency will not anymore publish calls on its own website. So everything will now go through this single entry point, which is this Funding and Tender Opportunities portal. So just quickly, I mean, I don't know if you can still see that afterwards in the slides if you want to go more into the evaluation procedures. So nothing has basically changed. We will be supported by 3 experts. There will be thresholds. The only thing that has changed, maybe just for you to know, for us, the quality of the project design and implementation now has the same weight as the relevance of the project, which used to be of great importance. So in the former program, it was 40 points, and the quality of the project design and implementation was 20 points, as all the other 2 award criteria. But maybe this, you know, I invite you to have a look later more, you know, in detail. Now I will directly go to the new EMDM action, because I think this is really a good starting point when you don't have yet a very close, let's say, cooperation with program country students, and not yet a completely clear idea on the master program, the curriculum you would develop. Then this is really, I think, a very interesting alternative. So why did we let's say, did we opt for this possibility? It was first, you know, to fill the gap of the action of the Erasmus Mundus Action by supporting the development of new masters, but also it was to diversify the offer of programs, because we saw that there were still underrepresented program countries, institutions, but also in terms of thematic areas. So what is an EMDM project? It is in fact a short duration grant to support institutions to set up a new joint master program. And it is a mono-beneficiary grant. So it is one beneficiary, in fact, that applies but mobilizes a group of other HEIs and aiming at an EMJM consortium. And it is a completely independent funding scheme from the EMJM Action. So it is also, there will be a separate call for this activity. So what is a, and as we say, you know, we want, you know, these programs to develop and to design a new joint master program. And this is the definition, and I will not repeat it because we did it already. So we want these master courses afterwards to be able to apply, you know, under the EMJM scheme. So the expected outcomes of an EMDM is, of course, to jointly design the program and the joint procedures. Then, joint administrative and financial management mechanisms, to design the common services for students, joint promotion dissemination strategy, a draft joint partnership and student agreement, and of course, a joint degree policy and launch of accreditation process. And we always invite all institutions now to explore the opportunities offered by the European approach for quality assurance of joint programs, but only, of course, when it is possible under national legislation. So the setup, it is one beneficiary, in fact, who is applying, and as I said, is mobilizing a group of other HEIs. As you know now, the setup of an EMJM, you see that we aim, for program country presence and partner country presence, of course, a fixed duration of 15 months. And there is a single lump sum contribution of 55,000 euros linked to these activities. And it's very easy. In fact, we try to make it very easy to apply and to manage this grant. So taking part as an organization, so applications can be submitted by any eligible program or partner country HEI. So it's also like the EMJM, it's open to any public and private organizations in program partner countries. And also like under the other program, HEIs established in a program country must hold a valid Erasmus Charter for Higher Education. The call, exactly the same. We are not sure yet. The budget will be around 2 million euro, which will enable us to finance around 36 EMDM projects this year. So the evaluation procedure is a bit lighter. We have only 2 experts involved. Proposals must score at least 60 points. In case of ex aequo, priority will be given to projects with the highest scores for first relevance and then quality of the project design and implementation. These are the award criteria. As usual, we have a relevance of the project, quality of the project design and implementation, quality of the project team and the cooperation arrangements, and impact. Here you still have a few useful information about the program. All this we have to update once the information is available. Here's interesting background information on different reports that we published in recent years. Now we are also working on statistical fact sheets on the Erasmus Mundus program of the last MFF. So we will certainly put it then on the EACAE website where you will be able to find it. So this is my presentation. I really warmly invite you, if you have any questions, to write to us. You will see here our functional mailbox, and we will be happy to provide you with further information. And yes, and we really hope that this new possibilities under the Erasmus Mundus Action will be interesting for you, and especially the EMDM Action, I think, can be a good starting point. So thank you very much, and if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Dagmar. It was really informative and very interesting. We have one question from Yehuda. Approximately when will the EMDM application submission period open?
This is exactly, as I said,
this is
for
still
the
not clear.
EMJM Action. So, but I would say it will not be before April. Okay. But it's just, I think that you have now the opportunity a little bit to already look for cooperation possibilities with other higher education institutions. I think this could be good as a time now, you know, as a preparatory time that you have now until the official call comes out.
Exactly. Okay, so we'll have a 5-minute break. I know we're a little bit late. 5-minute break to fill up your coffee cup or bathroom break. Thank you so much, Dagmar. Of course, the presentation will be available afterwards.
Yes.
And of course, anyone who has any questions, you're welcome to write it on the chat or to us by email, and we will answer that.